horse racing fans. Here we have another episode for the Inside Post. Today, we have the Jockey Club Gold Cup Grade 1 Stakes race at Saratoga. This will fall to race 11 on the Saturday, September 2nd. Car going a mile and a quarter for these 3-year-olds and up. We have a somewhat of a short but good field in here. We have Proxy as possibly betting favorite, second choice, and Rattle and Roll, currently the 9-5 favorite. Again, like I said, there's only 8 horses, so somewhat of a small field coming in here. But again, a really, really good field. We have a couple horses that are 10 to 1 or under. That kind of make this a race of maybe 3 or 4 horses. So we're kind of just going to run through all these and kind of just give you our inside views of each horse. So we have number 1, Proxy, Joel Rosario, Michael Stidham, owned by Go Dolphin. Comes out of the Monmouth Cup, a grade 3 with a big win in there. Went to the lead and held the lead for Joel Rosario, going a mile and an eighth, so a little bit further in here, going a mile and a quarter. Should be fine. The horses ran on a mile and a quarter before. I believe it was at Santa Anita Handicap in the grade 1 stakes race out there. So Proxy, obviously 2 to 1, definitely respected here, coming in $2 million earner, has the best primal power coming into the race. 18, 6, and 6 lifetime. Just a horse that has done really, really well. You go back and look through these past performances, you see in the, I believe it was the Pegasus World Cup, the horse finished 5th. And then obviously in the Stephen Foster, the horse finished 8th. Was beaten in that Stephen Foster by Westwell Power and Rattle and Roll. So we'll have to face the likes of Rattle and Roll in here again. Looking back at the Pegasus, again, was beaten out by Art Collector, Defunded, Stiletto Boy. Those horses are not obviously in here, but are running in the Pacific Classic out at Del Mar. So Proxy has the speed. Just interesting to see what this horse is going to do. Last time goes to the lead, wires the field. 3 times back, kind of horse comes from 5th in the Oaklawn Handicap and wins by a head. They're beating out the Last Samurai. Of course, seems to be the horse could go to the lead. In here is a little bit smaller field. It just depends if there's anybody else that's going to try to challenge it. The 1 hole, that could be the question mark if the horse is going to be able to break from the 1. It done it back, I believe, in the Clark where it was in post 1 and was able to get somewhat close to the lead and set just off the pace. So it seems to be a horse that has a lot of tools on ways that it can win or ways that it can get to the lead. Definitely one that's coming out of huge stakes races, the Oaklawn, the Stephen Foster, and the Monmouth Cup. So we shall see. I posted a really good workout August 26th. I believe it's at Fairgrounds. 4 furlongs and 48 and 3 was the best of the day. 1 out of 34 there. So one that's definitely in good shape here. Again, it has that sire as the Tappet and Pulpit. So one that should run really big and run really well. 2 to 1, decent price. Probably, like I said, will be the second betting option in here. Unbridled Bomber with Dylan Davis and James Ryerson. Coming out of a grade 3 and a grade 2 stakes race, finished 4th and 3rd in there. This big of a stakes race seems to be a question mark. If the horse is fit to run with this type of class. Has raced 17 times, has won 4. Of those at this distance, the horse has only ran twice, has won 1 of those and posted its career best speed figure. That was the last time out. Finished 3rd in there, ran against the likes of Charge It and Clapton being in this race as well. Workouts, so, not as fast as some of the other top picks in here, like Rattle and Roll and Proxy. So probably one that we will look to fade. Next up, you have number 3, Warrior Johnny, Junior Alvarado, Philip Bauer, owned by Rigney Racing. Another horse trying stakes company for the first time, big graded stakes company for the first time. 12333 lifetime 102 speed figure back in 2022. So a year ago, basically, the horse was performing at its best. Seems to be one that's kind of trying to find its stride again. Has tried some bigger stakes races, 275s, on the smaller stake side of things for at Churchill and Ellis Park. One that looks to be able to sit mid pack. This one could be a surprise here and trying to get out to the lead. Has done it before with Junior Alvarado aboard, so maybe he wants to play spoiler, try to play spoiler. Got to try something with this horse. Why not take it to the lead and see if you can stick to the lead? And here we go with big number 4, Rattle and Roll, Brian Hernandez, Kenny McPeak. Again, probably 9-5 will probably be the post time favorite in here. Coming out of that Stephen Foster last time out, 101 speed figure, beating out by West Will Power. 3 times before that, winner of the Grade 3 Blame, the Pimlico Special, and the Ben Ali. Horse that looked to be really, really good going over a mile. Has raced, I believe, fairly the longer distances or these long route races its entire career. As you can see, the horse is 19-8 lifetime, so 8 big wins on this 4-year-old's career out of a Connect and Curlin sire. Again, the Kenny McPeak and Brian Hernandez tag team seems to be usually a hot commodity when these two team up. If you look kind of back at what Rattle and Roll has been competing with, again, beating out by West Will Power in that Stephen Foster before, was able to beat out Clapton, again, who is in here, runs into West Will Power again and was beat there. But that was early on. But if you look at it, the horse has either been favorited or that second to third betting option. When the horse is a favorite, it usually does really well. And seems to win. So definitely one to watch if this horse is going to be the post favorite once they enter the gate. Looks to be the speed of the field, one that likes to run them down late. As you can see from some of the pace setups that this horse has gotten, likes to come from the back and does so with vengeance. I believe the late speed in that last race was like a 108, and it seems to be like the horse has come flying. Just was not able to rally past West Will Power in that Stephen Foster. 5, Clapton. This one, obviously 8-1. Irad and Chad Summers here. Hooking up again, coming out of the Suburban and Grade 2 Stakes race where it was beat by Charge It, but was able to hold off Unbridled Bomber, the 2 that we just talked about. Does get Irad aboard for the first time, so interesting. Irad and Chad Summers usually team up on some horses and have teamed up on some horses in the past. So this one is kind of a sneaky one at 8-1. Getting that jockey change with Irad, definitely interesting. I believe this is a first timer for Chad Summers. Was previously trained by Juan Alvarado. So interesting. Gets the barn switch, gets the jockey switch. Definitely sneaky at 8-1, and one if it's any type of like money back special for TVG, FanDuel, whatever it is. This one would be definitely one to take a swing at, along with the next one that we will talk about in Tyson. But looking at Clapton in that last race, did post a pretty good 104 speed figure. So definitely one to watch out as it seems to be improving. Kind of like the barn switch here. Definitely the jockey switch is interesting enough. Next, we have number 6, Tyson with Manny Franco and Josie Carroll. This is Hillendale owned for the Equine Holdings Incorporated. A little bit lighter raced horse coming in from some of these other ones. 4-year-old gray out of Tappet. Let's see, the Seagram Cup, Grade 2 at Woodbine. So this is a Woodbine shipper. Has been at Gulfstream before when it was trained by Todd Pletcher. Comes in here, stepping up to the Grade 1 stakes race. A little bit slower speed figures with the 90s, high 90s. Does get a jockey change in Manny Franco. So interesting to see. Manny Franco seems to be a hot jockey right now at Saratoga. Definitely one of the younger horses in here, lighter raced horses in here, that seems to be one that we could consider a late Bloomer. Has posted some pretty good workouts at Woodbine, has not put any workouts in at the Saratoga track, so that will be interesting to see that type of adjustment, or if the horse is able to ship in and run well. Next, we have number 7, Duke of Love. This is a My Racehorse owned. Again, Josie Carroll owned or trained with Luis Contreras. Steps into Grade 1 Stakes Company. Comes out of a couple Woodbine races and a Mountaineer, the West Virginia Governor Grade 3. Won that race at 8-1. Posted its career best 100 speed figure. Another one that's going to have to take a big step forward in here just because of some of the class speed of some of these other horses. This one looks a little bit out of depth, but it is a My Racehorse horse, so obviously it's got something there that they would not have picked up on. So interesting to see what this one kind of does in here. Again, I think it's a little bit too big of a race. Trying Grade 1 here for the first time. I know it won that West Virginia's Cup or Governor's Stakes, so it's going to try to rally yet again and at a big price, I believe at 15-1. Next and lastly, we have Bright Future, Rapoli, and St. Elias Stables here with Javier Castellano, Todd Pletcher. Interesting here. I expected Irad to be the mount here, but I guess he's going to stick with that Chad Summers horse. So that's kind of interesting on Clapton. Bright Future is getting Javier for the second time. The horse comes out of an optional claimer for 62 of non-winners of 2, wins that race, and then is obviously pointed in here. Todd Pulitzer put the horse in the Brooklyn. I believe it finished 8th, bad 8th. Was beat out by Next and Calibrate. So a horse that's kind of struggled to be consistent, find the winner circle, or even find the board. You have to go back to obviously the maidens and the optional claimers for this horse to pick up a win. So another one that seems fairly out of depth. Interesting though that the horse is 6-1. I'm assuming the speed figure in that last race, probably the connections in here, the sire of Curlin and Smart Strike. On top is probably why the horse will be 6-1. Javier Castellano's been pretty hot jockey. He was blazing, I believe it was like yesterday or Thursday at Saratoga, or last week, definitely. So we'll see what this one can do. Again, another lighter racehorse, six starts, 3 wins, but again, nothing in Graded Stakes Company to make a note of. I think Irad made the better choice in skipping that and going on Clapton. It's a little bit better price right now at 8-1. Obviously, the Irad effect will have an effect on this horse, and it's going to be bet pretty heavily in here because I feel like the bettors will steer clear of Rattle and Roll and Proxy, as the better value could be Clapton. So at 8-1, that's kind of a good long shot bet. It is a heavy raced horse at 22, but the barn switch, the jockey switch is interesting enough. And then coming out of that Suburban where it posted its career best speed figure, definitely one to consider. Again, like I said, Tyson got a hot jockey with Manny Franco aboard, but Rattle and Roll and Proxy seem to be the 2 top horses in this field. So there's our picks. You got Rattle and Roll, Proxy on top, Clapton as the sneaky pick, and Tyson with the hot jockey and Manny Franco. So we thank you for watching our edition for the Jockey Gold Cup at Saratoga for Saturday, September 2nd. Make sure to hit that like button. Give us a subscribe down below. To catch all of our horse racing bets, check out our other video up top of the Del Mar Pacific Classic best bets and our long shot for that race as well. We hope you win, and thanks for watching.